Alright guys, Fula coming to you with another video. Shout outs to the whole LDBC. If you like this video, please feel free to like the video. And if you want to, I invite you to subscribe to the page, but you don't have to subscribe. It's all good. Always by choice, never by force. So I want to talk about something that was on my mind. And a disclaimer. I am by no means trying to glorify the next topic I'm going to talk about. I'm saying this as a man first and foremost, not as someone who lived and experienced what I'm about to talk about. I'm talking about it from a man perspective. Let's take away everything let's take away all the extras, all the affiliations and things like that, and just strip it down to just being talked about in a perspective of a man. So for those of you guys who don't know, LA is basically a cluster. There's different parts of LA, but it's all considered LA, right? You have Hollywood, that's considered LA. You have San Fernando Valley, which is still considered LA. You have Rosemead, Arcadia, which is still considered LA. You have Inglewood, Gardena, which is still considered LA, or at least LA County. But it all fits into the bubble of what we know as Los Angeles, right? So to get deeper than that, South Central Los Angeles is not just cut and dry. You have different sections of South Central Los Angeles. You have the West Side section, which is the gateway to beach cities such as Santa Monica, Venice Beach, Marina del Rey. And then you have the East Side section of South Central LA, which is the gateway to Hollywood and the like thereof. Now, when it comes to gangs in Los Angeles, especially in South Central, they basically fall under a couple of categories: Rich Rollin and Gangster Crips. And in South Central, of course, you have, your pockets of Pyrus and stuff like that, right? Now, when it comes to Rich Rollin, is basically a group. It's a group of hoods under one umbrella, okay? And that umbrella is neighborhood, all right? So you have, for example, rolling 50s, rolling 55s, rolling 60s, right? On the west side of South Central. On the east side of South Central, you have rolling 90s, right? For me, all right, I come from the west side of South Central. Okay. Bryanhurst, 54th and Slauson, Crenshaw Stalker, Florence, Hyde Park. That's my section, okay? Now, granted, I moved about, I want to say 15 minutes away, more westward from that, because, shit just gets out of hand and you have to fall back, right? So on the east side of South Central Los Angeles, you have, Western, Normandy, Vermont, and the like thereof, right? And you also have under the neighborhood umbrella Rolling 90s. So when it comes to East Side, South Central, while I do know protocol and stuff like that, I really can't say I know the inner workings of like how they run their program. You know, if I were to go to that part of town, it would be to handle some business, or it would be to go to the library. That's the only time I would go over there. I wouldn't go there to kick it or anything like that. The only exception to that was if the Salvadorian homie mom invited me over for like papusas, you know what I mean? But anyhow, I'm looking at this story, and I heard about this story from another YouTube page called Hood Politics, and shout outs to him for reporting on the story. But this really surprised me a lot, okay? This really did surprise me, and it just got me thinking, and it made me feel like kind of sad, you know, to think about this whole situation. So you have a rich Caucasian kid from Palo Verde. And for those of y'all who don't know, Palo Verde is one of the most affluent neighborhoods you can live in Los Angeles. You're talking about beach views. You're talking about multi-million-dollar houses. You're talking about mansions. You're talking about private gated communities. You're talking about luxurious sports cars. You're talking about just parked in front of the house at least $250,000. Yeah, I want to say $250,000 worth of cars can be parked in front of just one house out there. Okay. So I'm questioning, how does this Caucasian kid by the name of Cameron Terell, or Cameron Terrell, find his way into the rolling 90s? Out of all things, this guy gets courted on to rolling 90s, right? And to make matters worse, okay, two people who were with him during the time assisted him in killing another black. Two black dudes assisted this guy in killing another black. Let's take the hood out of it. The black kid was on his way to college, or in college. His name was Justin Holmes. So you mean to tell me, and this is no disrespect to rolling 90s, you know, but you mean to tell me that y'all let this go? Y'all let this fool into the hood who's well-to-do, who doesn't even know shit about the hood? And here's my thing about it. Most niggas in the hood want to get out the hood. You let this nigga come in looking for a thrill or something? Like what? Like what was it that just basically made y'all say, okay, let's court him on? I really don't get it. Because I can tell you in Rolling 60s, there ain't no, not that I know of, there ain't no white people in it. Not that I know of. You know? I don't think big homies like Mayhem, Big Slip, I don't think they would let that shit slide. Anyway. So when I see this, it lies a deeper problem. I see, let's take the gang politics out of it. Let's take the simple fact that two black dudes helped this white dude kill an innocent black dude. Then on top of that, the white dude gets acquitted, and the dudes who were with him are still sitting in jail to this day. Right? And let's take it a step further. You have a black dude who is the attorney, the lawyer for this would-be hood. It's ridiculous. Like, what's the problem? And then you have other people trying to cap for this guy, saying, well, you know, maybe he didn't get love at home and he just found the love in the hood. And maybe he did it, this, that, and the other. Man, cut it out, bro. Cut it out. Because I'm going to tell you something. Okay? A real hood nigga is not gonna really want to continue down the path to self-destruction. A real hood nigga would jump at the chance to live the life that this guy was living before he got involved in the hood. If you ask the average hood nigga, okay, would you rather have this, what you got right now, or would you rather have what this dude had? And they're going to pick the second option. Okay? And they say that he had, like, his parents were having problems and things like that, and this, that, and the other. So that's how he gravitated towards it. But my thing is this, how you went to Palos Verde High School. Like, the only thing I can think of is that maybe some niggas from the turf went to that high school, but I seriously doubt it. You know? So it's like, I think he actively went to go seek this kind of stuff. And it's not just him that has the same thing. Because I've seen it done many of times, you know, throughout history. Throughout African history, I'm gonna be honest with you. For example, a lot of times when it came to like colonization, you had Africans like in the French army, right? Proclaiming that they're French. I mean, even with my pops, you have, you know, Africans joined the Portuguese army. And it's the same thing. Like, it can work the other way too, where you have these Europeans who try so hard to be Africans. You know, try to wear the garb, you know, marrying African men and women, you know, trying to learn the language and things like that, and all this kind of thing. And then, you know, you have Africans who accept that, you know. And it's like, even what we're going through right now, okay, with this whole corona thing, and this is another video in itself that I may do later, but who's the um, lining factor in all of these problems that we're facing, even with the misinformation in the media about minorities having corona the most. Okay, these type of misinformations is something that a lot of us fall for. Okay, I'm not saying it's not affecting us, but all I'm saying is that I don't think it's affecting us at the number that they're reporting, right? So the thing is this, what I have a problem with, back to this Cameron Terrell, the biggest problem I have is that there were actually two other guys that helped him carry out this on an innocent dude. And they said he was the getaway driver when they did do it, but I think there's more to it. I actually think he had a blower and he actually hit the innocent guy, me personally. But he got acquitted. Okay? He's acquitted, and the other two are still sitting in jail waiting for trial. You know? And that just goes to show you white privilege at work. Again. Okay, it's like, for me, this is the question I have. Like, why would you even let this nigga on the turf? Like, he doesn't even know shit about this shit. Like, how are you just gonna let him on? And it's like, if he wanted to do it so badly, start some shit in Palo Verde or something. Like, start a clique up there. Don't come down here to, seek approval and stuff like that. So he must have been trying to play the role of black. And that's the thing, I like, when I see like these, you see it, especially in LA, sometimes you see it both. You see these white girls trying to act black, or what they think of as black. Let me rephrase that. You see these white girls trying to act as what they think is black, and you see these white dudes doing the same thing, talking a certain way, moving with a certain lingo and things like that. And just because you do something like that doesn't mean that me personally, that I'm gonna accept it. Me personally, I'm gonna look at you as foolish, because that's what, if that's all you equate black people to, is just acting in this sort of way, then miss me with that shit. So for me personally, the way I look at it is, he had an inclination to want to, like, be violent in essence. And I guess some of the 90s just decided to give him a platform to do so. And here's my thing. I'm going to end it with this. Okay? When it comes to this gangbanging shit, most of the time, it's the area you are in that kind of determines, like, where you're gonna be from, right? You don't, like, actively just go seek it out. You know what I mean? That's just how it works. You know what I mean? And as I said before, The thing is this. Shit is a high risk game. And it's nothing to be played with. But I feel like not only did this dude play with it, right? But he kind of made a mockery of the whole thing, because there's other people besides his homeboy who are sitting down, washed up for way less. And the one thing I noticed, this is another thing I noticed about this trial that I thought was suspicious. They didn't put a gang injunction on this cat. Because usually if you, for those of y'all who don't know, they'll shit. Can't tell you how many homies got washed up from the gang enhancements. Basically what a gang enhancement is that if you, I think this only applies to LA, but if you do like a petty crime, let's say you steal like, shoot, I don't know, like let's say you steal a pair of shoes from the store. Let's say you shoplift, you boost. I mean, stealing some shoes, maybe you get, I don't know, like maybe you get a month. I don't know, okay? But with a gang enhancement, that month can turn into some years. Okay? For example, I'm not gonna name no names. There was a homie I knew, he got into a scuffle in Fox Hills Mall. It happened maybe 2 years ago. Yeah, a homie I knew, he got in a scuffle at the mall, and he threw up the hood. And the problem is they had him on camera, right? So the scuffle he got in, that maybe, I don't know, maybe carry let me see. Maybe a scuffle will carry maybe 90 days, right? But because he threw up the hood, he got 12 years or 13 years. Yes, he got 13 years for that. All right, just for doing that. Because how it works is that a gang enhancement, basically any crime you do is looked at as you're doing a crime to benefit that gang. And so with that being said, they put more time on you. A lot more time. But with this guy, he didn't have no gang enhancement. And and the thing is, he had tattoos with he had a W on his chest, right? That lets you know where he's from. That W stands for Western. Right? But yet, I think because he had the complexion for the protection, they didn't do that. And so, I'm going to end this video by saying this. As black people as a whole, whether you're a black person directly from the continent of Africa, whether you're a black person from the Caribbean, whether you're a black person from Latin America, whether you're a black person from the United States, I encourage you to really love yourself and really value yourself. Because for these two people who are sitting in jail right now to assist this guy in killing one of their own brothers, it makes me know how cannibalistic our field is we playing in. And to see that his lawyer is a brother goes to show kind of how low he's sunk. But anyhow, man, those are all my thoughts on this issue. I'm sorry if I'm long-winded, but I was just like kind of really bothered by it. And I just had to really get it off my chest, despite the fact it happened a year ago. It was just brought to my attention recently because I don't be on Western like that. I don't be by Vermont or Normandy or Central like that. I'm not really over there like that. You know what I mean? But anyhow, man, leave your thoughts, leave your comments. Fully signing out. Enjoy, man.